name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we want to thank you guys for tuning out with us this evening and making it possible for us to come to you again with another live broadcast on our social media platforms. We want to thank you guys who are logging in from different parts of the world. I know I can see it here in my system from Europe, South America, US, Caribbean region, different parts of the world that I can see people are logging on and they continue to log on. And I want to thank you guys so much. I also want to thank our guests today. Just an honor and a privilege for us to have Coach Rudy today with us and make it possible to spend some quality time with us today. Guys, please just lock your microphones off as you come on. Coach Rudy where can I start? Where can I start? He's a humble friend. We have been just communicating just about every single day. We communicate, and you know, Coach Rudy's background is just top draw, as they say in England. It's just top draw. Coach Rudy background and what he stands for and what he is about, and a true gentleman in terms of what he's doing. He's a mentor, a teacher. You know, and you spend some time with Coach Rudy on the phone, chatting with him and back and forth, and you realize that, yeah, he's about, you know, he's about people, and that is very much, you know, what we are all about, guys. And Coach Rudy has coached in so many places and developed and you know, just impact a lot of people's lives around in the NCAA. Junior colleges, university, some down in the Caribbean region. He has a link to a number of top Caribbean players. It's just you know, I'd let Coach Rudy get into some of it too for us in terms of it, guys. But as I said, Coach Rudy, it's an honor again and a privilege, and I will just you know, put it on you now for you to take over and run the show, and you feel free. And as I said, once again, Coach, it's just an honor to have you in our presence today to chat with us.
It's my pleasure, and it's really an honor to be able to be on a platform like this to so many people that are interested in matriculating collegiately as a student and an athlete. I think that is one of the biggest accomplishments someone can do, and one of the biggest challenges. I see it all the time that people think, you know, that they're a collegiate athlete, and it's not to say people aren't, but where I've tended to be, it's like a different level, aspiring for greatness and to reach the top levels, not just on the court or the pitch, but on, you know, in every aspect of the program, whether that be community service or academia or maybe even fundraising, things that can, you know, change lives and be able to bring things out. So it's, a lot of people think, oh, I just show up and kick a ball. You know, I'll be transparent right now. I'm at Blinn College. It's a junior college in Texas. I love it, but I put my 2 weeks of notice in yesterday. We'll see if it actually goes to fruition. I fully believe it. And Coach Roy and I talked about it a while ago that, you know, he spoke it into being, and I believed it as well. And things have gone really amazing, which my boss currently at Blinn is really excited because it provides more pathways and opportunities, because we align in things. My philosophy personally is to always find OKGs. And that's our kind of guys and our kind of girls. And for me, it begins off with great citizens who are good students who are footballers. And there's not a minor emphasis on the footballer, but it's like the last thing, because the foundation of life, if you're not a good character, human being, you're not going to overcome adversity, and you're not going to be able to reach levels in life. Because we all go through things at some point in life. I certainly did. I don't think it was a big deal. I know people that go, oh my gosh. But when I was 12 years old, I had brain surgery. And so I had a different life than some other people. And I relate to people who have already had challenges. So, but if you don't have a great character, and then you don't have a good student, and that's relative, to be really honest. I was not an academic person by nature. I had to work really hard at it. Some people are blessed and they can show up and get perfect scores. and others have to really claw and grind at that. But the people who value it and put in the work that's necessary, because not everyone will be a 4.0. I could have worked as hard as I could have, and I would never have finished as a 4.0, even though I would love, perfect scores. But other people can just make it easy. But it's the emphasis to commit to excellence. And that's one of the things I always look for. And then the footballer side of things, the better talent they are, the further my teams can go. But I think without the character and without the drive, intrinsic motivation, it's what it goes from when your parents had to wake you up to get you to go to something, and now you're waking them up saying, I want to go train, or I want to go to this event, or I want to go here. That's intrinsic motivation, where it comes from within. And finding those people who are intrinsically motivated and driven, because it doesn't matter where I've coached, and I kind of highlighted a little bit. My history has generally been on transforming what I've called dumpster fires. They're places that have vastly underperformed. And so people don't really want to join that. They want to go someplace where they're already joining something successful. Like, that's what people want. And actually, who's the best? Go look at the results, go do this. I've got a call for my future. It's like I'm pulling quadruple duty. I coach the men at Blinn. I work in housing at Blinn. And the new school, I would be the head men's and women's soccer coach. So like, I'm recruiting 2 teams there, and I'm finalizing players for Blinn, because I'm not leaving it and saying good luck. I wanted to leave it in a great place, provided this all goes through. But I've got some girls that I'm talking to, and they want to know what school. Well, if I tell them what school, what they'll find before I speak to them is a team that on the field didn't score a goal in conference play. And what they won't know is why, and the solution to it. Because honestly, they don't know that I've already spoken to 5 possible NCAA Division I transfers, and it's not an NCAA Division I school. But there's a whole gamut behind it. There's planning and things that go into being a really successful coach, and having a program that's successful. But if I just say, oh, it's such and such school, and they go look and they're like, no thanks, because the one girl is already at a 4-year school, and she Googled my name, I'm sure, found out I'm at Blinn College, which is a 2-year school, and she goes, no thanks, I see you're at a 2-year school. I said, no, I'm transitioning to a 4-year university. And so she's like almost not giving me the chance to even speak to her. But I guess I want to kind of not talk so much about me, but what I look for in players is an important thing to know. And I had an experience when I was probably in a lot of your shoes, not from the Caribbean, but I've been very blessed to work with a number of players from the Caribbean and India and every continent in the world. Actually, the ball behind me is the Indian U16 national team ball from like 2 decades ago now, I think. They were the first Indian team to ever play in the USA. And I was blessed to have that opportunity and work with Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, which is the only Indian player to ever play in Europa League. Started when Bob Bradley was at Stabæk. And when I was working with him, they were 16 years old, and he was 6'4". And, everybody's got a concept of what people are like from different parts of the world. But that was one of those, well, wait a second. I thought Indians looked like X, and here's this ginormous kid when he was 16 years old. And it was a really great cultural experience for me early on. But my point is, like, getting to know people and then using my experiences, because I talked to Coach Roy, I think my philosophy is life happens for us, not to us. And a lot of people say, oh, this happened to me. No, it happened for you. You just don't know why yet. I didn't know why I would have brain surgery. I didn't know why I would have seizures when I was a young kid, that was caused by the tumor. But, I was placed at one point to coach in a team. Like, literally, I was put there without knowing why. I was really bitter how I got there. And then one day, this kid just stops and he's blank. I'm doing the team talk, and he kind of goes, all of a sudden he goes, oh, what'd you say, coach? And I'm like, Most people would say, come on, teenager, pay attention. And I said, I need to talk to your mom. said, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, and I really never saw myself have these, but I experienced them, non-convulsive seizures. And I talked to his mom and said, please come pick him up. I know he drives, and he drives his 2 younger brothers, but I think it's important to be safe here. And they did a test, and lo and behold, he had a non-convulsive seizure. And if that had happened when he was driving, one can only say. So I was bitter how I got to that team, but I was put there, and my experience, what I experienced, prepared me for that moment to be able to have care and kind of quiet chat, to not make a big deal out of it. And so it's like, we don't always know why when it's happening. But when I was a collegiate athlete, I was recruited. Everybody wants to be recruited, but you don't. Because I think recruiting is perception, deception, and coercion. It's telling a story that everybody wants to hear. I'm talking to a lot of kids right now. They're in the transfer portal, and it's like they were promised the sun and the moon and the stars. You're going to come in and you're going to start. Guess what happens? They go to that school and they get redshirted. So now they're upset. They're mad, and instead of like what I do, and I talk to people I think should be all conference players or this and that and the other. But I say nothing to the like. I say, I'm giving you a chance, giving you an opportunity. I've identified you as someone who I think fits in our program, but then I want to get to know them. And it doesn't matter how talented they are and how much drive they have. I tell every single one of them, I provide you the opportunity and the platform. You determine how much playing time you get by how hard you work and how committed you are and how coachable you are and what you do off the field. All those things determine how much playing time you get. If you come every day and work your socks off and you're committed and you do it right in the classroom and you do it right off the field, you're going to get yourself on the field. I can't tell you if that's going to be 90 minutes or 5 minutes, but you're going to find your way on the field. And an example happened at Blinn, and I won't name names because I think Jadiel might be on here. Maybe a different Jadiel, but I did see a Jadiel. Yeah. So I won't name names, but this one gentleman in the fall was early on, never seeing the field, never. But he was working. And then one day he gets a chance and he actually plays quote unquote out of position. And so then he's like, should I start training there? I said, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. I said, other people keep messing up, you're going to find your way on the field time and time again. Keep going. And he played in like 3 or 4 different positions. And he kept asking me, what should I train today? I said, just train, because you'll find your way on the field. And lo and behold, he ends up playing like 20, 30 minutes against the eventual national champ in meaningful minutes, not garbage time, as they say, but in absolute meaningful minutes. So he just kept doing the right thing. And that's an important factor in life, is if you work hard and you're doing the right things and you're asking the questions how you can improve, and if you're playing for a coach who actually values those things, then, and in life, I should say, like, you will find your way. It might take you a little longer than some people expect, but you'll find your way. And I think that's the crux in like what I try to do with identifying these OKGs, is identify a real team, because a lot of coaches are going to look for the talent. And if I accumulate a roster, college rosters are anywhere between like 25 and 40 roughly. If I accumulate a roster of 25 stars, there's going to be a lot of discontent and disharmony, because everybody's used to being the focal point. And so it's putting actually a roster and a squad together that will come together and be a team. Sure, I could have, and I will, the goalkeeper we had in the fall played the 2nd most minutes in the country. Been real easy to be like, he's an everyday starter. He didn't play all the minutes. Usually he was like coming off at halftime because we're in a lopsided win. But this gentleman, we play the first home game, plays every minute, and he goes, Coach, do you have a broom? I'm like, what? Why? Which I do. It's in my car. I'd actually swept out this room prior to clean it up before they went to changing it. So it was in my car. And he goes, well, the room we changed in has all this dirt and grass from the guy's boots. I think we should sweep it up so we leave it clean. And he did that every game. Again, played second most minutes in the country and was winning games, but he was being a servant leader. And so like, yeah, he's a star, but he's not mentally arrogant and stuck up in a star fashion that a lot of people would say that key player is. So those are some factors I consider that an OKG, you know, and he's a great student and he's a quiet leader. And so he epitomizes that, those values, because if you go looking for a school, then it's important that you get to know who the coach is.